Kirby Tier List Part 2. And now for a little bit of a challenge. We have all of the copy abilities that exist in Kirby, all of them. Some of these I didn't even recognize upon first viewing, and a lot of these are from games that I really don't know too much about. Although, that really applies to the balloon and the heart. But I have a cheat sheet, so it's fine. Okay, so the Kirby copy abilities. I don't know what this heart is, so that's gonna stay far away until I figure out what the heck that heart is. Balloon Kirby. I didn't even look at what Balloon Kirby was. Balloon Kirby is if when the player taps the screen with the stylus, Kirby will fill up with air and become inflated. So after consulting my memory of Balloon, I can safely say that this is an alright ability. I've never played Canvas Curse, so that's just gonna stay around here. I think it's alright. It might be good. I've never played it, so that's like the only one on this list that I'm unsure of, really. So let's go over to Ball Kirby. I love the ever-loving hell out of Ball Kirby. It easily goes into A tier. It's one of the most fun abilities in Kirby's Adventure / Nightmare in Dreamland. By the way, whenever I mention Kirby's Adventure, I'm specifically going to mention Nightmare in Dreamland. That is the one that I grew up with. That is the better version. Don't at me, bro. So that's staying in A tier. Beam. Beam is very useful. Beam is very good, and it's like not the worst ability. I normally don't go for it whenever I play Kirby games, so I don't know if I would necessarily put it in the higher ranks. I'd say it's a very utilizable ability. It's very good with electricity in later games. So, B tier. It's a very solid ability. There's a reason why it's in almost every Kirby game. Beetle, on the other hand, it's really fun. I don't know. I mean, I didn't really sync with Beetle. It's cute. The hat is cute. I mean, just look at the hat. Just look at it. He looks adorable. Then again, he always does. If I were to just really list him, I wouldn't say that this is like my favorite ability out of the ones that were introduced in Triple Deluxe. I think it's an alright ability. It's alright. Bell's fun, A tier. No, actually, if I really were to think about it, Bell is really nice, but it's also a very simple ability. Like, I would say around the lines of Beam. Like, I'd probably put it above Beam in the B tier. Bomb is a good ability. I am gonna easily put Bomb in the A tier. Actually, if we're talking about like the most recent games, the most recent update, I'd probably put Bomb in S tier. Like the very low end of S tier, because they really like added a lot of utilizability for Bomb. And I kind of love it. This should probably be getting like the high A, low S. I'm gonna put it on a very high A tier. Low S tier. I decided. This is stupid. Bubble Kirby. Burning Kirby. Bubble really is useless. I've played Squeak Squad. I mean, it's nice to get the ability, but like, it's a very useless ability. Like, in the grand scheme of things, it does no damage. All it does is help pocket abilities for you to use, which you can do anyway. So, like, no. Pay no attention to the sleep tier that just exists now, because that's the absolute worst ability. Unless you're talking about one specific Kirby game. Yeah, no, let's keep going with this merry match of fuck what. Burning Kirby is a very specific ability, because they essentially put that into fire, so this really has, like, I'll put it in the C tier, because it's good in its game, but they also just merged it with fire later, so like that, there's no point in this existing. Circus Clown Kirby. Clown Kirby. It's an interesting ability, I think. Like, it's something that no one would have really expected. Maybe some people. But I don't think that, like, that would be the very first thing you think of when you think of a Kirby game. Like, you just want to have a clown. But, like, it's surprisingly how crazy the ability is. It's really useful for something. Like, it's got fire. You can, like, have the balls fly everywhere. I'd say it's good. It's a solid ability. I'd probably put it in a B tier. No one would have expected it, but it's a solid B tier, at least in my opinion. Cleaning Kirby. Now, so Star Allies exists, and because of that, this can no longer be a D tier ability, because they actually kind of put more use into it now. It's got 3 different elements in it now, So there's no way I can put this in D tier. It's actually kind of like a very high C tier, maybe a low B tier. I'm gonna put it in low B. That's just a throw off in Kirby Dream Land 3. Then they brought it back in Star Allies for some reason, and it's actually a really good ability. Animal Kirby. Now, Animal's a weird one. Animal's a weird one to explain because, like, why would Kirby need to become a mole? That's essentially what it is. It's just, he's just a mole. But it's also a very situational move. Don't get me wrong, Animal's probably one of the cutest abilities, but it's also a very situational ability. I'm gonna have to put it in the C tier. That's where the Puppers is staying for now. Archer. Archer is easily an S tier ability. Archer is really good. Especially in the later games, Archer is basically like, we're gonna get to this soon, and this is why I'm gonna just preemptively put Cupid into the C tier. It's just a better Cupid that has invincibility and range. It's just a great ability. There's no way you can go wrong with Archer. It's great. I feel like I'm doing a sales pitch for for just a bow and arrow, like. Paint Kirby. I don't know, it's probably say low A tier. It's really hard to really think about this one because like paint's an interesting ability. It's got healing properties to it, which, you know, that's good to have. Plus, like, you can just straight up make enemies, and that's great. Also, this was in 2 games, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Future Chris. This is in 2 games.
Well, I was thinking of Artist Kirby. You know, the one that's in Star Allies, and for some reason I thought it was in Planet Robobot as well, but I guess I was thinking of something else. No, Paint was that one-off ability that was in Superstar and Superstar Ultra. You know, Carpenter Paint looking like Kirby. I was thinking of Artist, so that's why they're not the same.
I think I'm gonna solidify it in a mid B tier, maybe above Clown. Backdrop. Backdrop is an ability. It is half of what we know as Suplex. I'd say it's a high D tier. It's not a useful ability, I don't think. You gotta like get into the fray, and if you have no enemies to pick up, then you're just kind of, you know, you're just kind of shit out of luck. So I can't really say anything highly positive about this ability, surprisingly. Cooking Kirby. So if I were to judge Chef Kawasaki on his own, I would probably put him in the high C tier, but or in the mid B tier. But as an ability, it's a screen nuke that gets you food, which isn't bad. I probably would put it in B tier. A lot of these abilities early on this list are solid abilities. In my opinion, I should point that out. My list will look different from yours. Maybe I should have just thrown that in the beginning of the video. Who knows how I'm gonna edit this monstrosity. And then we have Tack, which is the copy ability. This is useless. D tier. Crash. Crash is easily an A tier for me. It's a screen nuke that at least has some flashiness to it, especially in the later games. They just straight up really embrace the nuke part of the screen nuke. It's actually a fairly strong move against bosses too, because here's the thing about not all screen nukes are created equal. Some do actual really big damage against boss fights and others just don't. Cutter. I am part of the minority that hates Cutter, actually. I think it's a very stupid ability outside of Final Cutter. Sword is so much better. Like, the only thing you get out of this is a disjoint. So, whatever. If I'm talking about, like, fun, I don't know. I've never liked Cutter, so I'm putting it in C tier. I don't like Cutter. Like, I might be just in the minority in this. I've never liked Cutter in any Kirby game. It's a good ability, I'm sure. I just never clicked with it. I don't like it. I really don't like it. Not that it's a bad ability, I just don't like using it. Oh, hey, it's me, Dr. Kirby. You're going into the C tier because you're a really good ability, but, like, it's also very inconsistent. Doctor is just one of those abilities where you just can't go guns a-blazing. You just gotta really, plan everything you do, because there's a lot of just weak moves that don't do anything outside of erratic movement, or charge moves that just, you know, it's a very weird, there's no, like, real consistent attack you can do with Doctor, but it's really fun. It's a fun ability that just, I wish did more. I just wish that had more to it. Oh, hey, it's the Nest ability. It's the Earthbound ability. I'm kind of amazed that they didn't do this earlier because it's a really good idea. And I'm gonna put this up in the A tier. Like as a disjointed electrical ball that you could just throw everywhere or just straight up teleport to places. Yeah, it's a good dang ability. Oh, hey, it's the Festival Kirby. Again, it's a screen nuke. I don't remember how powerful it is, but like it's just a flashier crash. It's all right. It doesn't need to exist. And for abilities that don't need to exist, I'm putting in the D tier. But at least it's flashy. Fighter. Fighter is such a good ability. Like there's no chances this is not going into the S tier because it's so utilizable. It's so versatile. It's straight up a Street Fighter reference. How can you go wrong with that? It's such a good ability. And it's got a lot of power to it too. There's a lot of different moves you can use with Fighter. It's so wonderful. Like I'm glad they keep bringing this back in every game, or pretty much every game. It's a wonderful ability. This thing is. Fireball. What's this? Does this even count as an ability? Isn't that just when you're on fire in Kirby's Adventure? I'm gonna put this in sleep tier. Because I don't think that's an ability. Fire. Now we're getting to the good one. Fire is it's so good. It's one of the first abilities. It's a really good ability, and they just it's so good they put burning into it. So like just A tier. Oh hey, it's freeze. This is kind of like a burning situation where freeze is a good ability, but it was also just combined into another ability. So I mean, I'm probably just gonna put it in the C tier anyway. Actually, I'm probably gonna put it in the D tier because it was very like situational. You did not have a lot of range with freeze. Oh, Ghost Kirby. Oh, Ghost Kirby. Oh, how much I remember you, Ghost Kirby. Okay, it's an ability that you can possess other people, and it's one that I kind of forgot existed in Squeak Squad. I think I'm gonna thrust this into low C tier. Hammer. Okay. No stops. One of my favorite abilities in all of Kirby. Just hammer is so good. It's basically stone, but you can move it everywhere. Well, I mean, it's not really stone because you're not invincible for all of the moves. But like, it's really, I love using hammer. It was one of my favorites in the original game, and it's still one of my favorites to this day. High jump, another situational ability that's all right. It looks nice. You get invincibility frames while you're jumping up high, and in the newer games, they actually made it so you can do a down jump. A thrust down. It's gonna go into the low B tier. Hypernova, does Hypernova Kirby even count as an ability? It's just you suck good. So whatever abilities are here that are just like boss fight abilities, I'm just gonna put them in their own rank. So I'm gonna first do the Master Sword. Now the Master Sword's just a really good sword. It hits hard. It's basically like Meta Knight's sword, but it's got like energy beams to it as well if you're really good at it. So the Star Rod and the Triple Star are essentially the same, except the Triple Star is better. As for the Hypernova ability, that's just really an extension of Kirby's suck. So that's gonna go right there. I don't know what this thing is, so I'm gonna just thrust that over here until I figure out what that is. Anyway, back to the list. Ice Kirby. Ice Kirby, I think it's on the same level as Fire. In terms of like, it's just a really solid ability. Very easy to use, very nice. It freezes enemies to make them obstacles for other enemies that you can push them into. If anything, I like it more than Fire because you also get a dash. Jet ability. This, I can't believe they don't use this in more games. I put this in like a very mid-high A tier. It's so strong and you can move really fast with it. And like in Planet Robobot, it's an amazing ability. Just in general, Leaf is alright. It's alright. I'd probably say high B tier, because I mean, you can be invincible, and I really like those kinds of abilities where you're just invincible. Same with Bell. It's got a good range with its leaves, and that up attack and then the dash down. It's really nice. It's a really nice ability. Light Kirby. Yay! Another useless ability. You're going down there. The only time you'd ever use this in Return to Dreamland, not that game, Nightmare in Dreamland, was just to make dark rooms light, and then it would go away. But I mean, it's more It's more of a useful ability that doesn't need to exist, but it's essentially useless. Let's really name it what it is. Magic Kirby. Now, if I were to take magic from Amazing Mirror, this would go into the D tier near the bottom. But I'm going to assume that this means the magic from Squeak Squad, which is infinitely better as it's an actual ability instead of just a random little cherry you get. So I'm gonna put this in the low A tier. It actually is an ability and it's kind of really utilizable. I'm using that a lot lately. You can like kill enemies from not even being near them because this just ignores walls half the time. And it's wonderful. Actually, I'd probably put it above Circus. Metal Kirby. He's completely invincible, but can move really, really slowly. He also really can't fly. It's a very polarizing ability, to say the least. I think I'm gonna put him right in the lowest of C tiers, probably like above Ghost. Mike Kirby. I love Mike, especially just the rocker thing they use at the end of it. I think it's better than Crash, in my opinion. I don't think it's stronger, but I think it's I think it deserves its A tier slot. So I had to look this up because I completely forgot this existed in Amazing Mirror. This is Mini Kirby. You're just very tiny to go in those tiny slots. This is going into the D tier. I hope this surprises nobody. Mirror. This is easily one of my favorite abilities in all of Kirby. This is going into the S tier, and I wish Kirby games would use Mirror more because it's so good. Missile Kirby. Missile Kirby, it's an explosive missile that you can control, and I think it's also in Kirby game with the claymation on the Wii U. I think it's in that too, but in a different way. But like that, I'm mostly going off of the one from Amazing Mirror. It's an alright ability. It's very hard to control, but it does what it needs to do. B tier, Needle. They made Needle a lot better and also weirder. They gave it some of the moves from other enemies that actually have the spike ability, where it actually shoots upward. It can cling onto walls, which is nice. It's an alright ability. I'd probably just put it in the C tier. Ninja. Ninja goes into the A tier. Suddenly, why does he sound like a pirate Wario? Ninja is it's just like, why would you not want to be a ninja? Paint. This specific paint is the one where it's the screen nuke from Superstar. I mean, you'd never ever get it outside of like one boss fight. It's a very situational ability. I probably would put it in C tier. This easily gets like a guilty pleasure award if I could give it one. Parasol. Parasol is a solid ability. It's not useful super that much, but like they keep making it more useful in every game. So now see, this is specifically Plasma from like the older Kirby games, specifically in Superstar before they combined it into Spark. I mean, I guess I should get Spark out of the way. That's gonna be in the A tier, no problem. Plasma, I think, is also gonna be in the A tier, but just significantly lower because Spark just kind of does that anyway, but it's good in its own game. Poison Kirby. Now this was actually a surprising one that I think kind of works from Planet Robobot. Poison Kirby is actually, it's like water, but it hurts and damages more. So it's like a version of water that you really do a lot with. I hope they bring this back. Maybe they go the Witch Doctor approach with one of its like screen nukes or something like that, and just make him like huff gas. Although I think he can do that anyway. It's actually a fairly solid ability that I didn't expect. I'm putting this in the A tier. I don't know what this is, so this is staying next to Heart. The Smash Bros ability, easily S tier. It's Smash Brothers. Spear Kirby. Actually, Spear's a really good ability. I'm putting this in the A tier preemptively because it's a good ability, actually. Spider Kirby. I'm iffy on it. This is going into the B tier. Now, okay, Beam Kirby. So, I'm actually going to put Beam under Spear because Spear has the ability to cut things and Beam doesn't, but it's just Spear, but you can also just like flail it everywhere. Although this also comes with a caveat where it's amazing in Star Allies if you combine it with electricity. Stone. Okay, Stone. Actually, I'd probably put it in the low S tier. It's a good ability to just spam on the True Arena, because that's what everybody does. What are you talking about? But in terms of an actual ability, I think it's alright. I mean, it's an amazing ability that has a lot of potential, but like the fact that you can't move I think lowers it a little bit for me. Suplex Kirby. Suplex Kirby is one of the coolest abilities. You just become a wrestler and you just throw everything around. They combine throw and suplex, which by the way, throw goes into C tier. Just gonna throw that out there. Throw. But no, suplex I think goes into the low A tier. I was gonna put it in the high B tier, but I think it's a little better than that. It's not my favorite, but like I really love just throwing people around, and it's gotten a lot better over the years. Sword Kirby. It's like the classic. It's a classic ability. This is gonna shock people. It's not my favorite ability. It's wonderful, but I'm putting this on the highest A tier possible because it's like, I love it, but it's not one that I have a personal, wonderful connection with. All these abilities in the S tier, I think are easily, like, I have a connection with all of these abilities up on the very top. I mean, I love them all. Above C. I think, like, the ones that are in S tier, they mean something to me. They mean wonderful things to me. Which is why Tornado is not going in any of those and is going into B tier. I like that you're invincible, but, like, actually, no, I'm putting it in a high C tier. You can be invincible, but, like, you can't really do much with it outside of just, you know, you're invincible. Whoa. UFO. That is just like the easiest S tier choice. Water Kirby. Now, I'm weirded out that this only started in Return to Dreamland. Like that late. Water could have easily been an ability that you could have used a lot with, but it's wonderful, and you can surf on water. This is going right above ice. I think it's better than ice. I love getting water whenever I can. It's just great. Wheel. I have a personal connection with this one too. Wheel is such a great ability, and you're invincible, and you move fast, and the wheelie rider is amazing. I love it more than Stone. Whip Kirby! It's an alright ability, in my opinion. I mean, you can do a lot with Whip, but I think it goes in a low B tier. It's alright. It does what it needs to do. Wing Kirby! I'd say it's useless, but you can get a lot of faster height. I'm gonna put this right under Ball Kirby in the A tier. And for the final ability, we've got... Oh, wait, this is... I just realized what this is. Is this the thing from... Kirby's Dream Land 2? But anyway, Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo is going into the A tier. Yo-Yo is just a great ability. So, after that's been said and done, this is my tier list for all the Kirby abilities that exist. Now, I've been recording, like, these past two tier lists, I've been recording for almost 50 minutes straight. And I didn't think I'd have that much to say on all of these abilities, but this is my list. This is what I think it boils down to. Check out the next tier list that I'm gonna do, that I'm somehow gonna tie into this one, where I go over all of the Kirby games. You can check that out whenever I get to it. Hey guys, thanks for watching this ridiculous effort into a dumb tier list of copy abilities that no one probably wants to care about. But if you did make it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. I put a lot of time into this video from whatever I could get out of work and in between, you know, group stuff that I've been doing on the side. It's actually quite surprising how well I did with this. And again, it was really fun, but man, was it time consuming. But figure that's pretty much like the basis of my tier list for that. For copy abilities, it's very hard to really discern like what I like more than others, but that's a pretty good idea. That's a very good idea of a list. And of course, this will be immediately dated by the next Kirby game, but I mean, we'll see how that goes. So be sure to subscribe if you want to find out for more stuff, I guess. I mean, there's one more tier list coming out. I don't know when that'll happen. I'm hoping it'll come out on Christmas, but we'll see. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time for the final Kirby tier list. Take care, have a lovely day, and see you soon.